Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakamitamscha Namavo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarini Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Priyadvaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosite Namo Brahmana Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagatitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Te Namaha Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhana Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Ananta Vaishnava ki jai, Ramacharya Das Thakur ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, welcome everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna everyone.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. So I have posted the attendance link. Hare Krishna. So I have posted the attendance link in the chat. Okay, after some time, one of you can post again. Santosh Prabhu can do.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, chapter 4. Okay. So today we'll see chapter 4, Jnana Yoga or Transcendental Knowledge. Spare obeisances to Shri Shri Radha Govind. Let's take their blessings. So this is chapter 3 summary, Karma Yoga, right? So renunciation or action. So Arjuna asked Krishna that tell me one thing, right? Tell me either I have to renounce or should I fight? So please tell me one thing, because he was confused with so many instructions from the Lord. In the chapter 2 we see Krishna speaks more about the Jnana Yoga and more of about the soul. So we understand that when there comes a knowledge, Jnana, so Arjuna thinks that If I have to develop knowledge, then that means I have to renounce everything and I have to go to forest, right? So then he asked Ekam Vada. Next we saw Nishkama Karma Yoga. So without Nishkama, what is Nishkama Karma Yoga? The name itself denotes. What is Nishkama? Not having?
Working without attachment to the fugitive results.
Yeah, working without. Very nice. So the Nishkama, no? Kama means desire, Nishkama, not being attached to the results. So how to work in that way? So he gives examples of how Janaka Maharaj, being a liberated soul also, how they all engaged in the Nishkama Karma Yoga. And then Karma Kanda to Karma Yoga. So if the cycle of sacrifice we saw, so why God created this material world, and the devatas are in charge, right? So we have to, it shows like if we satisfy the devatas, and then they will be happy with the sacrifice, with the mutual understanding, the material will, I mean, for that purpose Krishna creates basically. But then we also understood that that is not the highest, no? Today also, in today's chapter also, we'll see that, because that is only all this varnashrama dharma and karma kanda. Vedas deal with most of the time with the karma kanda section, but that is only for gradual elevation to Krishna consciousness. So and then Krishna gives lead by example. So yad yad acharati shrestha tattadeve tarojanaha. So whatever a leader, I mean the person who is in a leader's position, whatever he does, the people will follow. So Arjuna, you being in such a position, because he was very much admired and he was like not an ordinary Kshatriya king, right? He had one weapons, I mean from Lord Shiva, Indra, Brahman. So what will happen to his that, I mean the status, right? So everybody will think like, okay, Arjuna has run away from the war, then we can also do that. So don't be a bad example, Krishna says there. And then greatest enemy, can someone tell me what is the greatest enemy in this material world? Iha Vairinam. What is that greatest enemy?
That is, attachment is oneself a greatest enemy, ma'am, Mataji.
Yeah, attachment is yeah, so the lust, hai na? Krishna
Yeah.
speaks about the lust. So lust is the greatest enemy. And what are the places, Krishna says, where all the lust, in which all the, what are the places where lust reside?
Five senses. Five senses.
Yeah.
Mind.
Is it
Senses,
only the
intelligence.
senses? Huh?
Sense,
Yes, Santosh.
intelligence. Hare Krishna,
Sense?
Mataji.
Yes, yes.
Senses, intelligence, and mind.
Yeah, very good. So Krishna gives a clue there to understand where all this, so that we can conquer that lust. So Krishna says that if we have to, we don't want ourselves to be entangled in this material world, then there's a need for conquering lust. And so he gives the where all the position, and he also explains the like, see which is higher. Like he says that we cannot directly control the mind and intelligence. So what is the hierarchy? We see that first one has to control the senses, no, by regulating. So that is why we have to regulate the senses. Krishna says in chapter 6 also, Yuktahara viharasya yukta chestasya karmasu yukta sapnava bodhasya yogo bhavati dukkha. Right? So everything has to be regulated sleep and regulated food, right? So all our activities, when it is regulated, then the senses will be in control. Only when senses can be in control, so then the mind will be in control, no? So we saw that example of a chariot, right? So how body is compared to the chariot, that is the dead matter, but higher to that are senses, the 6 horses, the 5 horses. Actually, it's 6 senses we say, including mind. So 5 horses are compared to senses. And who is controlling that horses? The rope is compared to the mind. and the driver of it, right? He is the intelligence. So intelligence is the driver, and then who is sitting in the passenger is the soul. So we saw that. So why we have to, so how can we conquer lust? Only by developing the spiritual intelligence, Krishna says, no? So, evam buddhe pare param buddhva. So Krishna says that by developing spiritual intelligence, you can conquer this greatest enemy, which is called lust. So further in today's chapter, Krishna is going to explain us the transcendental knowledge, which will help us to conquer the lust in the material world. So chapter 4 summary. So we have 5 sections. Section 1, knowledge about Krishna is transcendental. Evam parampara praptam. Section 2, Krishna is the goal of all paths and the creator of Varnashrama system. Ye yatha mam prapadyante. So however one surrenders to me, Krishna reciprocate. So section 3, Karma Yoga, Karmano hi api bodhavyam. And then sacrifices lead to transcendental knowledge. So there are many sacrifices, different sacrifices. So all the goal of all the sacrifices or the knowledge is Krishna, right? That everything leads to Krishna only. But people take different path. So different sacrifices Krishna explains there. And in section 5 we see summary of transcendental knowledge. So how one should get this transcendental knowledge? What is the procedure? By surrendering to a bona fide spiritual master. Tadvidhi pranipatan. So section 1, transcendental knowledge about Krishna. So this transcendental knowledge. So why do we, so this knowledge about Lord is said to be transcendental, and this comes in a sampradaya, right? Why did Prabhupada give the name Bhagavad Gita as it is? So you all can express one point, everyone, or at least some 2-3 points I expect. Yes, Santosh Prabhu. 1 point you can tell me. Yeah. Why Prabhupada kept the name Bhagavad Gita as it is?
Just coming directly from Krishna, like parampara system.
Okay, good. Yes. So someone else, one more point. Want to add?
It is through disciple succession, and it is explained as it is, like as it is spoken by the Sri Krishna. Same Srila Prabhupada has explained, but he has given the purport to it.
Yeah. So because there are, yes, Prabhu, thank you. So I have something in chat. Okay, nothing is added or subtracted. Yeah, very nice. Sanjay Kumar Prabhu. Okay, everyone are correct. So yes, so why did Prabhupada keep Bhagavad Gita as it is? Because we know that there are many editions of Bhagavad Gita and more than 600 plus editions are there in the market, right? So it's all, I mean, if we see the like if the history, I mean, if we have to see if this is having any disciplic succession or anything, the Bhagavad Gita, then there won't be anything as such. I mean, the any person, I mean, there are many philosophers, or Prabhupada says, even politicians also, right? And we know that there are some politicians also who also write and they express their view. But who are we? Because this transcendental means what? There should not be a mental speculation. Mental speculation means the willing, thinking, and feeling. So these 3 things are the activities of the mind, no? Thinking, willing, and feeling. But this is above that. This is not, this doesn't come under our thinking. So how can we speculate something on that? So we have to take it as it is, what Krishna has given. But many people, what they do, they give their own interpretation and they consider Krishna as ordinary person, right? As ordinary human being. But this is, Bhagavad Gita is called as Apaurushaya Grantha, or because Apaurushaya means he is not a Purusha, not just a person, he is a superhuman. No? Apaurushaya means he's a superhuman. So it is told by Krishna. And what is that message of Krishna? So Prabhupada wanted to deliver that message. What really Krishna wants to tell. I mean, what is he, why is he giving this knowledge? What is the intention? See, anybody, if, I mean, Sanskrit, anyone can learn and they can give the translation. So why do we need a guru? Because to understand it in right perspective, we need a guru, right? Otherwise, how to? Anybody can do any interpretation, right? So, but then we take to a bona fide sampradaya and from a right guru, because this knowledge is told by Krishna, and Krishna is free from 4 defects. But the other people who give their own interpretations about the Lord, they are not free from 4 defects. Can someone tell what are the 4 defects of human? What are the 4 defects of human beings?
Janm, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi.
Oh, that is primary sufferings. I'm asking about the defect. We all have some defect, na? Yeah, our senses
Like
are not
limited
perfect.
vision or limited understanding.
Yeah, so limited vision, limited senses. Yeah, 1. And then there are 4 defects. We have limited senses, right?
Limited
Something.
knowledge or understanding of something. I mean, like because we have not seen it or
Yeah,
experienced
that
it.
all comes in, but limited senses only, because
Yeah.
we cannot perceive things. You know, we cannot perceive things as it is, because I mean, if we can't even see. There are so many microorganisms in this room. We cannot see. So how can we say that our senses are perfect and only I believe only what I see? So that is wrong.
Then
So
we have this thing of approximating things, like nothing is to perfection, right? Like
yeah,
there
I
is
want right
manual error
right
or
words, which Prabhupada says. Can someone give right words? Yeah, Veena Mataji has given here. Commit mistakes. Yeah, we get illusioned, right? And we have cheating propensity and the imperfect senses. Nice, Mataji. So these 4 are the 4 defects of a conditioned soul. So we all have this. So that is why we are not supposed to interpret. We have to take it as it is. So what is will of Krishna? Prabhupada wanted to give. So Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita chapter 9, Manmana bhava madbhaktaha madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi uktvaivam atmanam matparayanaha. So always think of me. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Pay obeisances unto me. Mami so when you are always thinking of me, so you're sure to come to me, Krishna says. So what is Krishna's will and what is our position, right? Are we just this body? No. So that all that real knowledge we get to understand from this Bhagavad Gita. So this knowledge is nowhere we get this knowledge in material world. No, whatever we get is that is only related, very limited, and that knowledge also that keeps changing. Whatever we hear from science, also this most of that it is a theory based, and over the years many times it changes, keep changing. No, so that is not like that. But transcendental knowledge is always same. It doesn't change. It is eternal, and we see the history also from when it is there, right? So importance of parampara. Transcendental knowledge about Krishna should be received by disciplic succession. This reveals the truth about Krishna's form, his birth, and activities. Knowing this truth, one who takes shelter of Krishna becomes purified and attains Krishna. Sorry. So, so one has to, even this is Krishna also authenticates this in many places. Krishna says that this is told by Raja Rishis, right? Because this Vedas have to be accepted, and he gives evidence that this has been accepted by the great sages. So here also we should take it like the transcendental knowledge. It has to come from a disciplic succession only. So, and today we will see how the disciplic succession comes from the Lord, from Krishna, then how it goes down, right, to the acharyas. And so this reveals the truth about Krishna's form, his birth. So we will know the how Krishna has taken birth, right? Krishna speaks about it. His form, which is transcendental, not like ours, and his activities. Janma karmacha me divyam. So both activities and the birth are transcendental, right? So this we see, and whoever takes shelter of the Lord becomes purified, because Krishna is compared to the sun. So Jaha Krishna Vaha Maya ka na adhikar. So when the ignorance won't be there, when we take shelter of the Lord, then Krishna will take away all the ignorance. So it purifies. So history of Bhagavad Gita. Shri Bhagavanuvacha imam vivasvate yogam proktavanaham avyayam vivasvan manave praha manurikshvakave pravit. The blessed Lord said, I instructed this imperishable science of yoga to sun god Vivasvan, and Vivasvan instructed it to Manu, the father of mankind, and Manu in turn instructed it to the Ikshvaku. So now the Krishna is explaining how this transcendental knowledge has been transferred from great rishis. So Krishna first gave this knowledge to the Vivasvan god, right? The sun god. So the sun deity, in the sun planet, so there resides sun god. So Prabhupada says, in all the planets are filled with innumerable living entities. So for in this material world, we have this Panchabhutara. This body is made of earth, water, ether, fire, air. So similarly, their body is of different component. So only with that body, somebody can enter to that planet. That is why Prabhupada disregards this somebody who has gone to moon and all that, because it is not possible unless you have that kind of body. Because science can always change. After many years, it may come out one day that, oh no, the where they landed was not actually moon, right? So like that. So here it is Krishna gives this knowledge to Vivasvan, and Vivasvan gives to Manu, right? Vivasvan instructs to the Manu. Manu is the father of mankind, and Manu instructs to Ishvaku. Ikshvaku is the king in the in the same Lord Ram also comes in the same dynasty of Ishvaku dynasty. No, Krishna is. So basically, these Raja Rishis, they were very much aware of this transcendental knowledge, because they received this directly from the Lord, and their responsibility was to make people aware of the value of human life, right? To make the human life successful. So that is their goal, and they have to make all the people Krishna conscious. So how one can transfer from materialistic life to spiritual life? So that was their aim. So these Raja Rishis, then they gave it to their the next kings, right? So like that, this knowledge has been passed on from generations. So, but then what happened? Why was there need again to tell now to Arjun? So Krishna says here, Evam parampara praptam imam rajashayo viduhu sakale neha mahata yogo nashta parantapa. The supreme science was thus received through the chain of disciplic succession, and the saintly kings understood it in that way. But in course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it appears it to be lost. So what was the need? Because then in between what happened, people started to make their own mental speculations, their own interpretations. So somehow the essence has been lost. So then there was a need. So Krishna says, because Kali Yuga was about to start, right? So Krishna does always, because this Bhagavad Gita is a manual, it is required for us to know how to live in this material world. What is the goal of life? What is the purpose of life? So to understand that, and how we have to deal in material world. So how should be our consciousness? how should we control our senses. So all these details we can only understand in Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna wanted to give that to the next yuga. Kali Yuga was about to start. So Krishna has to, because this knowledge was broken, he again had to give now. So this is the Sampradaya. So there are 4 bona fide Sampradayas, so which is coming from Lord Krishna directly. So Lord Brahma Sampradaya, which is followed by ISKCON, right? Brahma Madhava Gaudiya Sampradaya, this is called, and the Acharya is Madhvacharya. And there is a Sri Lakshmi or Sri Sampradaya, it is called, and the Acharya is Ramanujacharya. And Lord Shiva or Rudra Sampradaya, with Acharya is Vishnu Swami, and the Kumara Sampradaya. So the Acharya is Nimbakara Acharya. So from Krishna, it comes to, this is our Sampradaya. So from Lord Krishna, Brahma gets this knowledge first, and then Brahma passes on to Narada Muni. And in like that, in disciplic succession, we get, right? So there are many Acharyas, and Prabhupada is said to be our 32nd Acharya. And here we can see Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. This is Gaur Kishore Babji Maharaj, and then Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Okay, we can see here. So these details you can see in the book. In the preface, you get this, okay, the list of Acharya names of Acharyas. So significance of Parampara. The Bhagavad Gita is coming directly from Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is transcendental and must not be altered anyway. So why is the Parampara system required? Because there should not be any mental speculation. No, it has to be as it is. So the knowledge of Gita must be accepted without material interpretation or by mental speculation. It must be understood by mercy of God. So Prabhupada says the demons or the atheistic people cannot understand Bhagavad Gita because they can read many years, or they can go on mental speculating, but one cannot understand the essence unless they get mercy of the Lord. It is not like the materialistic degrees that people do. It's not possible to understand. So therefore, Bhagavad Gita must be accepted from someone who has achieved the Lord mercy. So who has achieved the Lord mercy? The bona fide spiritual master, right? Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. So how, in a way, what is the procedure to learn? So here it says, that is a proper qualification. Having learned it properly from someone having the proper qualification, who learned it properly, etc. This is parampara. So Prabhupada says that Arjuna, when he realized that he is not able to decide what is right and what is wrong, so he didn't say that, okay, Krishna, now let's discuss. I will say, and then Krishna will tell. Again, there'll be a discussion. It's not for a debate. So he just accepted as it is what Krishna said. So whatever Krishna you tell, that is the conclusion. So Arjuna accepted as it is what Krishna said. It is not like, okay, I question and then it's not like that. So submissively surrendering to a bona fide spiritual master is the main qualification, and Arjuna did that, right? Otherwise, this one is not able to understand this divine knowledge. So this is the life of Brahma. So we want to know how this transcendental knowledge came to earth, right? To Manu. So before Manu, how? I mean, we just see some calculations here. So we start from the bottom, right? So Kali Yuga is the shortest, 4,32,000 years, in which we have already passed 5,000 years, more than 5,000 years. And 2 times of Kali Yuga is Dwapar Yuga, that is 8,64,000 years. And thrice of Kali Yuga is Treta Yuga, that was 12,96,000 years. And 4 times of Kali Yuga is the Satya Yuga. So all this yuga together will be one Divya Yuga, right? So all the 4 yugas together is one Divya Yuga, and 71 Divya Yugas is called as Manvantara. So there we see the life of Manu also will come next. So the total Manvantara is 306.72 million years. So 71 Divya Yugas. So, and is one Manvantara. So Brahma's one day is 14 Manvantaras, and such is the night. No? How much is the same length is the night? So that is called as one kalpa. One Brahma's one day is said to be one kalpa, and such Brahma lives for 100 years. His 100 years. So 36,000 kalpas. So the days of Brahma and equal number of night, right? So totally it is said 311 trillion years Brahma lives. And now our Chaturmukha Brahma, no? The four-headed Brahma. So he has crossed already 50 years. That means he has seen so many yugas already, right? And 155 trillion years has been passed. 6 Manvantaras are over in a life of Brahma. So he has already seen so many Manvantaras. So many yugas are over. 27 cycles, can you imagine? 27 cycle of 4 yugas are already completed, which Brahma has seen. So Satya, Treta, Dwapara. So time elapsed in Kali Yuga 5,112. So life of Brahma is half. 300 total is 311. In that 50 years is passed. So life of Manu, some calculations. So accepting that before the birth of Manu, the Gita was spoken by the Lord to his disciple, sun god Vivaswan. So very long back before the birth of Manu, the Gita has been spoken by the Lord. So it is estimated like 120 million years ago. So it is not like just 5,000 years back, Krishna gave this Bhagavad Gita knowledge. We are thinking that Bhagavad Gita was told on like in Kurukshetra, but actually the knowledge, this was retold to Arjuna, but it was told long back to Vivaswan. So again, in we see that in Mahabharata also we can have there is a it mention is there in the Shanti Parva, which says in the beginning of Treta Yuga, this science of relationship with the Supreme was delivered by Vivaswan to Manu. Manu, being the father of mankind, gave it to the son Maharaja Ikshvaku, the king of this earth planet and forefather of Raghu dynasty, in which Lord Ramachandra appeared. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita existed in the human society from the time of Maharaja Ikshvaku. So when it came to earth, we can consider only 2 million years back. So when Maharaja Ikshvaku was given this knowledge by Manu, right? So we can see here day of Brahma in many million years, and just see the 1 second of Brahma is 1 lakh years. Just 1 second. I mean, how many times we like die and take birth so many times in different species, but for Brahma it is just 1 second of our 1 lakh years. Our right. So such Brahma also says that he cannot understand Lord. Then what can we understand about Lord with our so minute intelligence, right? So Brahma, when Brahma was born, he was born from Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu's navel, right? From there was a lotus stem, and from that Lord Brahma was born. So when he was born, he didn't know what to do. It was everywhere very dark. Creation was not there, and it looked very dark. He didn't know what to do. And suddenly he hears a sound, ta, pa, right? Just 2 sounds, ta, pa. And then he immediately understood. He's very intelligent. He starts to meditate. Tapa means to meditate, right? Tapa, he understood, I have to meditate. So 1,000 years in their year, in the celestial years of 1,000 years, he did that meditation upon the Lord, and then he was able to, because before that what he does, he goes till the end of the stem of the lotus and he tries to see what is happening. Nothing. Everywhere he sees water and darkness. He couldn't see anything. And then he again comes back and he sits and he starts meditate. And this is very beautiful, which comes the conversation between Brahma and Krishna when he meets Supreme Personality of Godhead. during the creation, because he couldn't understand what is his purpose, that he has to create the material world, he has to create living entities. So only that knowledge he got after meditating upon 1,000 years. And then after that also he says that only with your mercy, O Lord, someone can understand this mystery. Otherwise, it is impossible. So we should not speculate. We have to just take it as it is. Sa evayam maya tedya yoga proktah puratanaha bhaktosi me saka cheti rahasya me taduttamam. That very ancient science of relationship with the Supreme is today told by me to you, because you are my devotee as well as my friend. Therefore, you can understand the transcendental mystery of this science. So, Krishna says here, so the same knowledge, O Arjun, I am telling this to you now, which has been told to Lord Vivaswan 120 million years ago. So, why? What is the qualification? Why is Arjuna being chosen? Because many people ask, why not somebody else was chosen to tell Bhagavad Gita? Because Krishna says Arjuna is a devotee and a friend. He is an eternal associate, actually. Krishna's, no, he's that is why he was chosen. Arjuna was always the eternal associate of the Lord, and he accepted Krishna as supreme personality. Not everyone in Kurukshetra accepted Krishna as Lord, but he knew the position. He knew, Arjuna knew, because Krishna says, Mudoyam nabhijanati. I mean, the foolish people will never understand. So, but only if we have this qualification, what Arjuna has, then one can understand if we follow in the footsteps of Arjuna at least, so then we will be able to understand this knowledge. So Arjuna's doubt. So how can Krishna, born as a son of Devaki, instruct Vivaswan, who is millions of years old? It's a very genuine question, right? So how can you instruct to Vivaswan? Because Vivaswan is so old, 120 years back, but you are only born now. Because he was his contemporary, no? Krishna, Arjuna says that they were all almost same age. So how is this possible? So Arjuna is asking. Arjuna uvacha aparam bhavato janma param janma vivasvatah katameta dvijaniyam tvamadav proktavaniti. Arjuna said, the sun god Vivasvan is senior by birth to you. How am I to understand that in the beginning you instructed this science to him? So how can I understand? Right? So why does Krishna question this about? But because Arjuna knows that he is Lord also, but then he wanted to defy demonic and atheistic people who say that Krishna is ordinary person. So let Krishna speak about himself, So let's understand his supremacy. So let Krishna speak to Krishna. He wanted Krishna to speak authoritatively, like a Bhagwan, right? So that is why he asked Krishna this detail. So Krishna revealed the position. How could you tell Bhagavad Gita to the sun god Vivasvan if he is a senior by birth to you? Parampara. Parantapa means, O subduer of the enemy, one who gives to others transcendental knowledge. So we can. Okay. Where is the 5? Okay. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tava charjuna tanyaham veda sarvani natvam veta parantapa. So Krishna answers to the question, why the answer, how is Krishna, the reason why it is, it was told very 120 million years back to Vivaswan, and how is that, how is it possible, was the question, no? Because you are my age. No? Krishna says, many birth, personality of Godhead said, many birth, both you and I have passed. I can remember all of them, but you cannot, O subduer of enemy. So Krishna also has taken many birth, and Arjuna also, right? But Krishna remembers everything, because we are like conditioned soul. We keep on changing the bodies. So we don't have that remembrance. We don't Only some remembrance which is essential to continue from next life, that is there. The three modes, no, that nature is continued to us in next life. But then we don't remember everything. But here, actually, Arjuna is also eternal associate. We may think, then how come he forgot? So for him, actually, it is Yogamaya. No, Krishna is covering because to perform certain pastimes. So if he is not covered, then how will this Bhagavad Gita will be told, right? So when the starting of the Bhagavad Gita itself, we see that Arjuna was made to brought to bewilderment by Krishna to give this knowledge. So he is also eternal, but then Krishna makes him forget. But we don't remember. We have taken so many births, we don't even remember. So that is why many people think that this life is the only one life. I mean, they have to live. There's no other life. So right. So because we have that forgetfulness, we can't remember all that. But Krishna remembers everything because he comes in a spiritual body. His Satchidananda body only he comes. So he has taken many avatars. So all the avatars, when he comes, Krishna comes in his own body. He does not change like us. Huh? So there are many incarnations of the Lord. So anyone knows what are the different types of incarnations? There are 6 kinds of incarnations. Any idea? Yes, Mataji, Prerna Mataji.
Are you saying that like Narasimha and like that, or
Yeah. Yeah. That is
Brahman.
Leelavatarans all come under.
Okay.
So
Okay.
there are called 6 kind of incarnation. What I was mentioning was it is Leelavatara, right? Like you said. So Narsimha Avatara, it could be Rama and many Kurma, right?
Buddha,
So
yeah.
all that, Matsya Avatara. So all this come under Leelavatara. And then something called Gunavatara. So 3 gunas. So Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwar, we say the 3 gunas. So Vishnu is he's controller of the Sattva guna, and Rajasic. Brahma is the controller of the Rajasic guna, and the Lord Shiva is for controller of the Tamasic. That is mode of ignorance. So he's a controller. So these 3 guna avatars. And then we have Purushavatara. Purushavatara, we'll get this um, uh, Krishna's expansions from Mahavishnu, right? Mahavishnu, Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu, and Kshirodaka Shai Vishnu. So that is Purushavatara. And then we have something called Gunavatara. In Gunavatara, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes in Gunavatara, Yugavatara, sorry. He comes in Yugavatara. And we have something Gunavatara. I think Gunavatara is Rajoguna, and this one, Brahma, Vishnu, and Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwar, right? And then we have something called Sakshya Veshavatara. Sakshya Veshavatara means empowered, like 4 Kumaras. They're empowered by the Lord, like Vyasadev. They all, and Kapila Muni. So they're all empowered by the Lord. They're not completely, but so these are different incarnations of the Lord. And then Leelavatar. Yeah, Leelavatar I mentioned. So like that, whenever Krishna comes, but he always comes in his spiritual body, not like us. So that is the difference between us and Krishna. You know? And so Krishna says, Ajopi san avyayatma bhutanam ishwaropi san prakritim swam avashtabhya prakritim swam adhishtaya sambhavami atmamayaya. Although I am unborn and I am transcendental, my transcendental body never deteriorates. And although I am the Lord of all living entities, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. So Ajopi san avyayatma. I am unborn. So we take birth, but Krishna appears. So that is why we don't say that Krishna, it is not birth. Krishna, it is appearing. And the same thing we say for our acharyas also, because they appear, because they all belong to spiritual world. They only come to deliver the fallen conditioned souls. So that is why we celebrate Appearance Day and Disappearance Day of the Acharyas also. So Lord Krishna appears out of his and is unborn, and he says Avyayatma, right? Avyayam means it doesn't deteriorate. Our body deteriorates. Now the material body, it goes through the 6 stages, from birth. So it's in the womb of a mother, and then it grows, it gives some effect, and it becomes deteriorates and then die one day, right? So there are different stages. So but then Krishna, so Krishna's body is not like that. It is never deteriorate. So his intelligence also never deteriorate. And although I am the Lord of all living entities, so Krishna is the Lord of all living entities. Pitahamasya jagato, he says, no? Mata Data Pitamaha. So he is the father of all living entities. So Aham Bija Pradapita. Krishna says that I am the seed giving father of all living entities. So he is the Lord. I still appear in every millennium in my original form. So Krishna's he appears in the transcendental form. So the two-handed Krishna which he comes in Dwapara Yuga is the same Krishna in spiritual world. So he comes from his own transcendental, internal potency. So difference between Krishna and us. So we see here Krishna's form is transcendental, but our form is temporary because the soul is covered by gross and subtle body. And it changed, no? This life we have this body, next life we get some other body based on karma. We are controlled by Maya, but Krishna is a controller of Maya. Maya Dyakshena Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam. So this material nature runs as per my instruction, Krishna says. But then we are controlled by nature. Daivi Hyesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya. So it's very difficult to cross over, Krishna says in chapter 7, I think. Yeah. So you cannot, but we are Krishna is the controller of Maya. So difference between Krishna and conditioned living entity. Krishna is eternal and remember past, present, and future. That is why he is called as Achyuta, who never forgets or infallible. He never falls down. So conditioned entity is also eternal. We are also eternal, right? Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam. We are also eternal like Krishna, but we are forgetful of our identity. Remembers all birth because body does not change or deteriorate. So he is Avyayam. So Krishna remembers all his life. But a conditioned living entity forgets because body change and deteriorates. Krishna appears by his own will, but we are forced to appear by karma. We don't have a choice to select our parents, do we? We don't have a choice to select which varna I born, right? But we are all so proud of our own caste and creed and all that. But did we get a choice? It's all based on our past deeds. So in that only we can make out that this is not by choice. We are actually in an illusion, no? Once we take birth in certain family, we think that we get associated and we get attached to all the rituals and customs and we become that. Just like how the soul accepts some body and start behaving in certain manner, like a soul, even a dog is also a soul, but then when it gets that body, it starts behaving like a dog. And we are also getting that body, human body, we think that I am this body. I identify myself with the false identity. So similarly, once we are born in certain family, we think that is my identity. No, so all in illusion. We are in illusion actually. So Krishna's body is transcendental, but conditioned living entity body is material. No difference between body and self. So Krishna's there's no difference. Like he does not have a different mind, intelligence like us. We have these 3 divisions. No, everything is same for Krishna. only one body. So for us, the soul acquires an external body. So 4.7 and 4.8, Krishna talks about his activities, explains why, when and why Krishna appears, reasons of his descent. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirбhavati bharata abhyudhanam tadatmanam srujamyaham. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. So Krishna, so yada yada hi dharmasya. So whenever there is a decline in religious practice or dharma. So what is dharma? So Bhagavatam says, Savai pumsa paro dharma yeto bhaktir adokshaje ahaituki apratiyata yayatma suprasidati. The highest perfection of human religion or dharma is that to get the devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is the highest religion, right? And the dharma of the soul is like everything has its dharma, no? Like a sugar's dharma, dharma of a sugar is to be sweet, right? The dharma of a chili is to be spicy. So similarly, dharma of a soul also is there. It is to be dasa dasanu dasa, no? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that the soul, because we see in the material nature also, in the material world, everybody are actually serving. Prabhupada says, everyone are serving if we see one or other. Either you are, I mean, somebody may say that I'm not serving, but no one can be without serving. Either they are serving their senses or their family or other people, but they're serving someone. Or is it better to serve the Lord or to become slave of one's senses, right? The choice is ours. So that is why Krishna says that whenever there is a decline of religion and people are becoming very materialistic and very much attached to sense gratification, right? That means there's a decline of religion. So the pure devotees understand that whenever there is a decline of religion, so they pray for the Lord to appear. So Lord Brahma wanted Krishna to appear and Krishna came. So similarly, Advaita Acharya prays to Lord Chaitanya, right, to Krishna, that please appear. People are becoming, I mean, 500 years back, he was praying to, he had a, I mean, he offered the to the Ganges and the Tulsi leaf to the Shaligram, and he offered prayers to the Lord that people are becoming very irreligious and there is no Krishna consciousness, right? There is no God consciousness. Please do take, I mean, you have to take birth now. So then Krishna hears to the devotees' words. For only for that reason Krishna comes to this world, because otherwise for killing devotees, I mean, sorry, demons, Krishna can send any of his person, no? I mean, he did not come directly, but then to have a sweet pastimes, Krishna comes himself. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descent of Bharata, and a predominant rise of religion, at that time I descend myself. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So why does Krishna appear? To deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish principles of religion. I myself appear. So paritranaya sadhunam, so to deliver the pious. So who is a sadhu? There's a question, right? So sadhunam. So everybody thinks I am good. But who is a sadhu is defined in Bhagavatam. So titikshavaha karunikaha surudam sarva dehinam ajata shatravah kshantaha sadhunam sadhubhushanam. So Bhagavatam says, who is a sadhu? Titikshavah, he's a tolerant, and Karunikaha is very merciful. And then Ajata Shatravah, he's not having any enemy. Okay, and then he's a merciful to all the living entities. Surudam Sarva Dehinam. So to all, it's not just like his family member or the human beings, to all living entities, right? So such person, and Shanti, he's always peaceful, right? So that person is called sadhu. So to deliver such sadhu, Krishna comes, and to annihilate the miscreants, the demons, and to re-establish the principle of uh, religion. So we see that many avatars Krishna comes, no? Like in every millennium, we see in Satyuga also, there are so many incarnations of the Lord. And then even in Kali Yuga also, he came as Buddha, right? Lord Buddha. He told that Nindasi Veda, he rejected the Vedas actually, Krishna himself. Why did he do that? Because in that time, it was required, because people had become very much cruel. And in the name of sacrifice, they were killing animals like anything. So because Vedas mentioned like that, they were because the Puranas had right. Puranas were divided into Satvika, Rajasika, and Tamasika. So in Tamasic Puranas, for certain people, because all these Puranas are for gradual elevation. A person is not ready to understand directly Krishna, so slowly bringing them to the platform. So there, what it is mentioned, you can give sacrifice once in a month on a Amvasya day in a Durga temple in front of God, goddesses, right? But then later, people stopped that and they were not doing even in temple. Just like that, they started eating meat like anything. So then Lord Buddha had to come, Krishna has to come as Lord Buddha, and he told, reject the Vedas. Right after that, Lord Shiva comes in form of Shankaracharya, and then he gives the Vedas. He established the Vedas again, but then he also gives half. It's like a Mayavada philosophy, because he says God does not have form. I mean, actually, he said God has form, but his followers, they say that God is not, because it is said his philosophy is not clear. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, many followers of Shankara Charya, right? They all converted to Vaishnavas after hearing to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? Because so yeah, so in this way, so Krishna comes every time whenever there is a decline in the religious practices. So what is the benefit of knowing Krishna's appearance and activities? Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tatvatah tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode. So, what is the Palashruti of knowing Krishna's birth and activity? Janma and karma. There are two things here. One is knowing about the birth. So Krishna's birth is not ordinary, right? So we know, like when he appears, he took the form of four-handed. I mean, he appeared like a Lord Narayana with all Shankha Chakra Gada Padma and with the jewelry and the silk garments, right? Who will appear like that? The birth is not ordinary. And then it is said in Bhagavatam, he comes to the heart of Vasudeva, and then to the heart of Devaki, and then goes to womb, and then he becomes a baby. And when he was born, he had a teeth, right? Which baby will have like that? So Krishna's birth is extraordinary, and even his activities. So many activities which he performed in Vrindavan, everything was extraordinary. And he also showed the Vishwarup, right? Vishwarup he shows in chapter 11 to Arjun, and he showed universe to Mother Yashoda, and he killed so many demons. And as a small child with a wooden motor, right? He was able, the two heavy Arjuna trees, he made them to fall, and then he liberated the sons of Kuvera, Manigriva, right? And Nalakuvera. So these two people he delivered. So all the activities of the Lord are extraordinary. And there are two paths for attaining perfection. So Prabhupada mentions here this in purport, that different people try to understand Krishna, right? The impersonalists try to understand, and they come to conclusion that Krishna is not having any form, and actually they are afraid of the form. because they think that if the God is also like me form, because they don't understand it is spiritual form, they think that it's a normal form like us, and they're afraid like, okay, so all this janma mrityu jara vyadhi is there, so how can one get liberation? So they don't want to think that the Lord has a form. So they are very much happy to see the universal form of the Lord, because it's very huge and you can't perceive the form. So they think that God does not have a form. But the path of devotees, they like to worship Krishna in his personal form. No, they want to establish that personal relationship with the Lord. So these are the two ways of attaining perfection. But then obviously Krishna says that Bhakti Yoga is the highest, right? Yoginam api sarvesham madgaten antaratmana. Of all the yogas, Bhakti Yoga is highest. So Vitaraga Bhaya Krodhaha Manmaya Mamupashritaha Bahavo Jnana Tapasa Puta Madbhava Magataha. So being freed from attachment, fear and anger, being fully absorbed in me and taking refuge in me, many persons in the past became purified by knowledge of me, and thus all attained transcendental love for me. So if one has to get Krishna's love, then we have to keep free ourselves from what? Three things Krishna mentions here. We should not be attached, attachment not to materialistic world, material world. Fear, one should not be fearful, and one should not be anger. So we see here. So different degree of affliction. So raga means what? Attachment. Strong attachment to material life leads to negligence of spiritual life. So we can see someone is very much attached for sense gratification or to the materialistic life, or attached, Prabhupada says, too much of attachment to one's own family or the country. So that is all also like an extended selfishness. So mam mameti, right? Me and mine. So that kind of mentality, what it does, it stops one from advancing in spiritual life. He is not interested actually in spiritual life because he want to enjoy. And then bhaya, fear of personal spiritual identity. For them, merging into personal, impersonal is highest. So as I mentioned, they're not, they don't want to perceive that spiritual identity will have a form, because we also, after we leave this, after liberation, there is a form for the body, right? There's a spiritual body. We'll get a spiritual body, but the impersonalists or Mayavadis, they don't want to think about it. They're afraid of it. But that fear should not be there. So Prabhupada gives an analogy here that the impersonalists give the analogy of bubbles in the ocean. So how the bubbles merge in the ocean. Similarly, they think that we become one with the Lord. So, but that is not right. Yes, Prerna Mataji.
Mataji, that means that these impersonalists, they believe in the Brahma Jyoti, so they meditate upon the Brahma, the light.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
So they believe, and the Prabhupada says that what will happen, they have some knowledge, but that is not complete knowledge. So with that, they can go to Brahma Jyoti, but they will not get any service there. So there's no service. So they will feel bored, and again they come back to this material world. So there's no liberation for them. So Brahma Jyoti, they go, they'll stay for some time, they come back, and then they engage in all philanthropic activities in material world. We see some people. So it is like that. So they have done so much tapas and they want to merge in Brahman, but then they can't get that happiness there. And then Krodha. Krodha is anger. So these are set of people who don't believe in anything. Not even, they can't believe in any shastras. Okay. So they are the conception of void resulting from frustration of life. So they become angry at all sort of spiritual speculation out of hopelessness. So basically, they don't they because they don't believe in scriptures, they do their own mental speculation, and then they get tired, right? How much you can do, right? It is, and because there's no devotional service there, and it is very dry. So then they get very much anger about it, because they are not able to come to any conclusion. and they give it up. And they takes to, such people take to intoxication and accept hallucinations as spiritual vision, right? So this is the fate of people who get and hallucination means, yeah, accept hallucination. So so it is just like in a dream, right? So we are having some dream and we think that is to be true until we are waken up, no? Until we come back to the real consciousness, we think that that dream is true. So that is a hallucination. So similarly, it is said in material world also, we are in ignorance and in the material conception of life until we take into Krishna consciousness. We think that everything is right. So we have to awaken ourselves to Krishna consciousness, and we cannot, unless such thing is happened, Prabhupada says that we cannot be, we won't be relieved of such dreams of hallucinations, right? So applying transcendental knowledge by hearing about Krishna. Okay, I'll finish soon. Okay. By hearing about Krishna, many persons in the past become purified and attain love for Krishna. They attained love for Krishna because this was their desire and Krishna fulfilled it. What if someone takes shelter of Krishna with something other than a desire to achieve transcendental love for it? So Krishna gives example of many, Bhagavatam speaks about 12 Mahajans. No? So who are those 12 Mahajans? Kumara, Kapila, Muni, Kumara, Kapila, Bhishma, and there is a very nice shloka for that. I'm not remembering. Kumaro, Kapila, Muni. Anyone knows? Bhishma, huh?
Swayambhu, Narada, Shambhu.
Yes, Swati Mataji, you were there. Please tell. Swayambhu, Narada, Shambhu, Kumaro, Kapila, Manu. Right? Prahlada, Janaka, Bhishma, Balirvaya, Sakirvayam, right? So, yeah, Prahlada, Janaka, Bhishma Maharaj, and Balirvaya means the Yamaraj, and Shukadev Goswami. And so all these people, Bhishma Dev, and all those are 12 Mahajans who have understood the Lord and they have attained the loving service. But what will be the destination? I mean, how will Krishna respond to the people who have different desires? So Krishna says in 11 how he reciprocates. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam sataiva bhajamyaham mama vatmanuvartante manushya partha sarvashah. As all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respect, O son of Pritha. So, however, with whatever degree of surrender we go to Krishna, similarly Krishna reciprocate. So we can see in the picture here, there's a karmi, there's a gnani, right? And siddhi, you want to achieve something. So, and there are different people. So, bhakti, mukti, siddhi, kami. But so all the 4 people. So whatever they go, Krishna gives them. So the Jnani wants Brahman, Krishna gives them that. But that is not highest. But because he aspired only that, Krishna gives that. And Siddhi wants some Siddhis, mystic powers, Krishna grants that. And a Karmi wants some fruitive results. So Krishna gives that, right? He does not say anything no to anyone. And then when a devotee asks, here we can see the devotee, sorry, here it is Karmi, right? Karmi, Siddhi, and this is Jnani and devotee. So devotee is writing a beautiful picture. I mean, whatever one has a talent, they can put that in Krishna conscious, right? So this devotee is engaged in doing the portrait of the Lord. So Krishna says, however, one approach me, I reward them accordingly. So we can see here, so 3 levels of realizing the absolute truth. So these are the jnanis who aspire for Brahman, and there are yogis who want to see Krishna in the 400 form, like Paramatma picture, right? Dhruv Maharaj, he sees as Paramatma, no? And then Bhagavan, so Krishna, so the Lord, the two-handed form, the pure devotees, they want to see Krishna as a two-handed form. So who realizes Krishna fully? Only the pure devotees. So everyone is looking for Krishna in different aspect of his manifestation. Krishna is object of everyone's realization. So we see here different people. Fruitive worker, Yagneshwara. Impersonalist want Brahmajyoti. And for Yogeshwaras, Krishna gave mystic powers. All 8 siddhis, no? And devotees, 5 primary rasa. Krishna engage with them in 5 rasas. Shanta Dasya, Shantarasa, Dasya Rasa, Sakya Rasa, Vatsalya and Madhurya Rasa. But then Bhagavatam says that whatever you are, it doesn't matter. You fall under which category, even if you are fruitive, impersonal, but then one has to go to the Lord. Akama sarva kamo va moksha kama udaradihi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. So akama sarva kamo va. Akama means no desire. Sarva kama, you have lot of desire. Moksha kama, you want a liberation. So with any desire, one should approach only Purusham Param, that is Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. So Tivrena Bhakti Yogena, one has to engage in devotional service of the Lord, then he can attain the Lord by his mercy. So everyone depend on Krishna's mercy. All kind of spiritual processes are but different degree of success on same path. Kangshata karmanam siddhim yajantaiha devataha Shipram hi manushe loke siddhir bhavati karmaja. So when everyone can get everything with Krishna, so then what is the need of going to other devatas? Right? Krishna explains here. Kangshata karmanam siddhim. So they aspire for some materialistic, they have some material desires. When in material world, desire success in fruitive activities, and therefore they worship demigods. And Kshiprami Manushe Loke. So it is said very soon they get also in the material world, but then that are not permanent. It is temporary, no? Because Krishna says in chapter 7, Antavattu palam tesham tadbhavatyalpamedasam devan devayejo yanti madbhakta yanti mamapi. So this alpa Antavattu palam tesham, the results of the worshipping the devatas are very short. It's temporary. Palam, the fruits are, I mean, it does not stay for a long time, and it is very temporary. Alpa medasam, Krishna calls that they are very less intelligent. So we don't know, we don't know to whom to go and ask. Like, if we go and worship the devatas, we can only go to their planet. But there also, Abrahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravartino Arjuna. Krishna says that even if you go to Brahma's world, you have to come back, Arjuna. There's no other way. Mam upetyu kaunteya punarjanmana vidyate. But one who worship Krishna, there's no other birth, right? But then sometimes we see in Bhagavatam that Vaishnavas also worship the demigods. So then we get a confusion, because gopis are the highest devotees, right? They're the great devotees of Krishna, but we see that they worship Katyayani. But the Prabhupada gives that the why they do that, but their intention is to get Krishna. If you are worshipping the devatas, but your intention is to get Krishna consciousness, then that is not wrong, right? That is fine. But if we are doing for material desire, then it is wrong. So we should know for what we are doing, right? So it is not advised, but then still if we do that, then our consciousness should be to get Krishna Prema, right? So Dhruv Maharaj also, when Kubera asked him, so what does he want? He says that I don't want any heavenly planet or any other planet. Only wherever I go, I don't mind. I don't need liberation, but I want to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is there. interest, the pure devotees. So different demigods differences. So they always worship Supreme as obedient servants, right? And they are, because even Bhagavatam states when devatas are created, their prayers are there where they pray the Lord and they ask like, okay, oh Lord, so now they are born, they ask the Lord, what is our duty? And then Krishna starts assigning different duties for different demigods. So these are all mentioned in the Bhagavatam. And they are created by Supreme. They are also like us, created by the Lord. But because of the pious deeds, they have become devatas. So exist within material nature. They are also within the material nature only. They are not in spiritual world. Delegated with various grades of power to manage the affairs of universe. So in Brahma Samhita, it says, no, the Surya, the Lord Surya, sun god, right? Sun god, from where does he get the light and heat? Krishna says it comes from the, Brahma says it comes from the Lord. Without Lord, he cannot take the heat and light, whatever he gives from that. And Lord Ganesh, from how everyone worship Lord Ganesh for removing obstacles. So where does he get the power? It is said that his trunk, right, always lying at the lotus feet of Supreme Lord. So he takes Yatpada Pallava Yugam Vinidaya Kumbha Vanve Pranama Samayesa Ganadirajaha Vignan Vihantum Alamasya Jagatrayasya Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. To remove the obstacles from the three worlds, Vignan Vihantum Alamasya Jagatrayasya. So he takes all that power from the Lord. So subordinate of will of Supreme have material, and also the Devi, no? The Durga Devi also. She also works under the, she maintains this material world. She that work is given to her by Lord, but she, how does he maintain? As per the instruction of the Lord, right? So they also have material bodies, hence subject to birth, old age, disease, and death. So they also subject to death, the demigods. They come under the influence of three modes of material nature to different extent, right? So we many times we have seen that they also forget. They are forgetfulness of Krishna and Indra, right? He showered torrent of rain on Vrindavan, forgetting that Krishna is Supreme Lord. How did that forgetfulness happening? Because of these three modes. No? He become pride, and this is a mode of passion. And even Lord Brahma forgot once that he is Krishna is Supreme Lord. So when compared to that, we can see Krishna is one, and he's the supreme whole. He's supremely worshipable. He's the supreme creator. That means nobody else is there before him, right? Beyond material creation, though he is a creator, but he is beyond it. He's the supreme controller. He's supremely independent and completely, because Krishna appears out of his own will. No, he is independent. We don't have that independence. Completely spiritual body, no birth, death, old age, and disease. Completely beyond the influence of three mode. That is why Krishna is called as Nirguna. Means he don't have any guna. Means no qualities. Means material qualities. No material qualities. Eternally the same Supreme Lord. Okay, I thought this was last. Okay, maybe we can stop here. We continue from tomorrow. We already time up. Okay, we stop it here till 4.12. We'll take it 13 from tomorrow. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Please all
Hare
of
Krishna,
you mark
Mataji.
the attendance. Hare Krishna. Okay. Yes, Santosh Prabhu has posted if anyone want to know the shloka. Yeah. Brahma, Narada, Lord Shiva, Kumara, and Kapila, Manu, Prahlad, Maharaj, Janaka Maharaj, Bhishma, Bali, Shukadev Goswami, and Yamaraj are the agents of Lord, authorized to speak and propagate principles of religion. Thank you. Attendance also, please mark everyone.
Mataji, could you please put the attendance link once again? Thank you.
Yeah, once.
Thank you.
Okay. Any questions on today's chapter? You may ask. If you have any questions. No questions. And
Hare-
what is happening to the Bhakti
Hare Krishna
Vriksha group?
Mataji.
Yeah, Hare
I have
Krishna.
got
One
one
second,
query.
Mataji. Let me tell about the Bhakti Vriksha. I think Sunday it's not happening. If you all can join on Tuesday and Thursdays, please do join the same group. We will share in the group today. Whoever are not, I mean, I think Sunday we are not having someone to take the lead. If somebody is interested to take the lead, can come forward. Otherwise, you all can join on Tuesday and Thursdays. He's really good, doing good. I think only very few, 3 or 4 devotees join, and they're actually doing good. They're revising all the quiz and they're reading together. So please do join Tuesdays and Thursdays, and it is very convenient time. I think 8 o'clock, 8 to 9 in the evening. So yeah, I request everyone to join. Yes, someone asked question. Aishwarya Mataji, you had a question?
Hare Krishna Mataji. I wanted to ask which are the 6 incarnations of Lord Krishna? Rest are, as you said, Leela Avatar and Yoga Avatar.
Yeah. Leela,
What are the
Leela
main 6
Avatara,
incarnations?
Manvantara Avatara, I left that time, I think, no? Yeah. Leela Avatara, Gunavatara, Yuga Avatara, Manvantara Avatara, and Sakshya Vesha Avatara, and one more is what? Purusha Avatara.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah. Okay. Hare Krishna. Any other questions you have for today?
Mataji, the what you narrated about Lord Brahma, that is mentioned in the Brahma Samhita.
Which one?
You mentioned that when he came from the navel of Shirodaksha.
No, that is in Bhagavatam, the 3rd canto.
3rd canto. Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? No questions? Okay, then if no more questions, we can meet tomorrow. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti vaishnavundi ki jai, namaste Vedasta ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you, everyone.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you,
Hare Krishna
Mataji.
Mataji.
Krishna Mataji, Dandavad Pranam.
Chant thrice. Yeah, we all can chant thrice. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Rama
Hare,
Hare Rama, Rama
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Hare,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Rama
Hare,
Rama,
Rama Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Thank you for
Mataji.
joining.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.